Hi everybody, I'm Rachel from Mrs. Rachel Brady. Mrs. Rachel Brady is a blog and a YouTube channel and also a book club. It's all about family, food and home. I'm a mum of two. I have Arthur who is 8, Beatrix is 6, and very soon, over the next couple of weeks, I am due to have another baby. It's a little boy. So we live here in the Peak District where we've renovated a farmhouse and we're trying to kind of live a more simple kind of country life. So hit subscribe if you haven't already, if that sounds like the type of thing you might be interested in. So today's video is all about pasta. Who doesn't love pasta? We eat pasta so much, and the video specifically is 5 pasta recipes that are very, very quick and very, very easy. So for me, I love a slow cooked kind of pasta sauce, and we do that a lot too. But more often than not, we do a pasta sauce where the sauce is actually cooked in the same time that the pasta is cooking. So these are all 10-minute sauces. All the amounts for all these recipes, by the way, are going to be down below, so don't worry about that. So without further ado, let's kick things off with my first recipe, which is a sausage and tomato pasta. You're going to need really good sausages. So when I say good sausages, I mean ideally sausages from a really good butcher, or if not, if you're getting your sausages from the supermarket, which I do sometimes too, choose organic or choose the finest range. Really go for the best you can get. I don't think you could make this dish with cheap sausages. We're also going to need some pasta. I used whole wheat penne for this, but like any penne is fine. You're also going to need a tin of plum tomatoes. I always prefer to use plum whole tomatoes rather than chopped, they're better quality. You're gonna need some spinach. I like baby spinach, some tomato puree, some garlic and some parmesan. So first of all, put your pasta on. With all of these recipes, the first thing we're gonna do is get a big pan of water, boil the kettle twice, pop it on, a pinch of salt if you like, and put your pasta on first thing. So we're gonna heat a frying pan, put a bit of oil in there, just standard olive oil is fine, or vegetable oil, and squeeze out your sausages and literally just break them up and fry them off. Chunks of sausages is fine, but I like to break them up so it's not quite like mince, but it's quite chunky. So add in there a couple of cloves of garlic if you like. If you haven't got any garlic or you can't be bothered, then that's fine, because the beauty of this dish is that the sausages are already kind of seasoned and flavoursome. I'm gonna add a tin of tomatoes. I just break those up in the pan, enrich that tin of tomatoes with some tomato puree, let that cook down and bubble for a few minutes, and see if it needs seasoning. It might not, because sausages are already seasoned. Last of all, we're gonna add a really good handful of baby spinach. Serve that with the pasta and lots and lots and lots of parmesan. So my next recipe is one of my favourites. It's creamy garlic mushroom spaghetti. It's so tasty. So for this recipe, you're going to need some mushrooms. I really like chestnut mushrooms for this, but any mushrooms will do. I chose to have this with spaghetti, just white spaghetti. Again, you could use whole wheat. We actually had this last night, a slightly different version of this with whole wheat spaghetti, which is really, really good. Any pasta will do. You're also going to need some cream. I used some double cream. You could also use creme fraiche, that'd be fine too. Some nice fresh parsley, a load of garlic, like 5 cloves, some salt and pepper. So first of all, we are going to get the pasta on. Every single recipe, pasta on first. We're going to heat a frying pan with a little bit of oil, and you're going to pop in all those sliced mushrooms with tons and tons and tons of garlic. Then we're gonna add the double cream, just pour it right in there, and lots of fresh parsley. We're gonna season it well because we want really nice, well-seasoned sauces. And that's it. Serve it with pasta. It's literally just, it's the height of simplicity, but it's so, so good. I do a variation of this like every other week at least. It's broccoli pasta. The secret and the kind of crux of the recipe is to cook your broccoli in with the pasta, and then you can just do whatever you want with it really. So for this recipe, you're gonna need some broccoli. Again, I used whole wheat penne with this, but any pasta is fine. You're gonna need a few rashers of streaky bacon. I always use streaky bacon because the fat content gives loads and loads of flavour. Again, this is gonna be so much better if you use really good quality bacon. You're also going to need lots and lots of garlic, salt and pepper and parmesan. broccoli pasta, I cut off the florets and then I halve and even sometimes quarter if they're really chunky florets. And then with the stalk, I just dice it. So fry off all that lovely bacon and also the garlic, lots and lots of garlic. Pasta and the broccoli have cooked, drain them off, add them to the bacon and the garlic and pile on loads and loads of parmesan, drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, lots of salt and pepper, and you're good to go. My next favourite pasta recipe is prawns with parsley and garlic, and also for the adults I also have some chilli on there as well. This recipe I'm using a bag of frozen jumbo king prawns. This is such a good freezer staple. I almost always have a packet in the freezer. If you've got that in the freezer and you've got pasta in your cupboard and some garlic cloves, even if you didn't have the herbs, you'd have a meal. The thing about this dish is how simple it is. So we're going to use very few ingredients but plenty of them, and it's going to be nice and well seasoned. Use loads and loads of garlic. I think I used like 7 cloves in this dish, a bag of frozen prawns, 2 big fresh ripe tomatoes. If you haven't got the tomatoes, don't worry, you can do this without. Some really nice extra virgin olive oil. In this dish, the olive oil is actually not just like a little dressing at the end or a background flavour, it's actually almost an ingredient in its own right. And also some dried chili flakes for the grown-ups. So again, we're going to put the pasta on. I don't know if I mentioned it before with the previous recipe that uses spaghetti, but what I do when I have spaghetti in a recipe is I snap it over the bowl, over the pan of water and put it in. This is simply to make it easier for the kids to slurp up whilst they're little. So then what we're going to do is add some oil to the pan and pop in your frozen prawns and garlic and just start to cook those. The fresh tomatoes and all that lovely parsley and some salt and pepper. Make sure that's all cooked through and then add it to the pasta. You can reserve some cooking water as well and just add a lick of that into the mix. Toss it really well. Season it well. Add some lemon juice. I forgot to say at the start, some lemon juice. And just make sure that all the flavours are soaking in together. What you want to do is not rush this stage where you're tossing it all through, because it actually gets amazing after about 4 minutes of kind of tossing it through, and the pasta sucks up all that kind of parsley and oil and garlic. And I serve it for the grown-ups with the chilies crushed on top. This next recipe is such a good one because it doesn't even require any cooking. So I'm really sorry guys, I forgot to get the overshot of what you need for this recipe, but I'll tell you anyway. So you're gonna need a packet of smoked salmon. I think like a 200-gram packet of smoked salmon. If you're on a budget, then those smoked salmon trimmings are absolutely perfect for this recipe as well. In this instance, I used little pasta bows, farfalle I think they're called. Any pasta would do for this recipe. You're going to need just a jar of shop-bought pesto. Again, we're going to use some spinach, and also again we're going to use some double cream. So once your pasta's cooked, strain it off. Reserve a little bit of cooking water before you drain it. That's always a good idea, by the way, in any pasta recipe. Just reserve a bit of the starchy cooking water, and whilst you're tossing it all through afterwards, whatever recipe you're doing, if you feel like it's too clarty and thick and not saucy enough, just put a drop in. What we're going to do is put the smoked salmon, the cream, the spinach and the pesto in with the pasta and literally stir it around. Just give it a little taste. Does it need some pepper? Adjust accordingly and it's good to go. I was so surprised that my son in particular really likes this recipe, because he's not a smoked salmon fan, but he likes salmon when it's cooked. So just tossing it through cooks the smoked salmon, and he absolutely devoured this dish. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed my 5 easy, quick pasta recipes. They're all real winners with children, genuinely. I wouldn't include things that my kids didn't eat. And they really enjoyed all of these dishes. So let me know below which one tickles your fancy, and also let me know which of your favourite quick pasta dishes, because I will give them a go if I like the sounds of them. Okay, hit subscribe if you haven't already and give the video a thumbs up, and yeah, I will see you next time. Bye!